Okay, hi, I'm Beck Lane. This is Studio 120. Once again, have not showered in a couple of days. You missed it though. I didn't shower for 4 days in a row. There, I don't know, I think I showered what days today? Thursday? I showered Tuesday, but it had been a 4 day period. Believe me, I did not go outdoors. Um, we would not let anyone smell us. So I'm Beck Lane, this is Studio 120. Behind me are two portraits, and I thought we'd talk about art today instead of dealing with people. We're going to deal with paint. I've come up with a project that I've talked about in a couple of videos now, or several videos, where I really wanted to paint artists that I feel a connection with. I can't say, well, I want to say admired, but that's a little too cliche. And I certainly cannot say inspired by, because I hate that word. But that's really cliche. But just people I feel a deep, visceral connection with. And one of them is Alice Neal. And this is Alice Neal as a little girl. And so I was going to go ahead and paint her and several other artists that I feel a connection with for one reason or another. And people have said, you should do a self-portrait, you should do a self-portrait. Well, I can't just, I just hate self-portraits. And it's not because of how I look. How I look is how I look. But I'm already spending most of my time staring at my own belly button. Why would I want to do it even further? But I came up with the idea, well, I was thinking about, listing out the artists that I really just, I hope to meet after I die one day. I'm listing out all these people, or while I'm alive, because there's a couple of those, but I'm listing out these characters and refining the idea of the project, but then it hit me. Why not juxtapose with a self-portrait? So we're starting with the first one, which is Alice Neal. The next one will be Toulouse-Lautrec, and I'm going to show you the surface I'm going to be working on those on in a second and go over some of the issues that I can see coming and how we'll hopefully skirt around them. But I found the earliest photograph I could of Alice Neal. I don't know the age, I don't really remember the year, but and as I've talked about before, when Alice Neal hit fame, she had spent literally her entire life painting. When she wasn't sleeping with Cuban men who she loved and eating snacks, she spent the rest of her time, or having a nervous breakdown after losing a baby, but she spent almost her entire life working to be an artist, getting up and doing the work every day. And that's something I feel a deep connection with. And the frustrations and all the difficulties that she, and barriers that she encountered along the way, just as an artist. She didn't hit fame till she was 60 years old. And I will never, ever, ever, ever forget, unless I clock myself in the head again, I will hopefully never forget the time I saw her on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And I remember being little and thinking, I want to be an artist, I want to be an artist, I want to be an artist. And I had no idea really what that meant, what it entailed, of course, because I was little. But I saw her on The Tonight Show. She was dressed in a gown, she had a cane, she was older. I think she was about 80 then, I'm not sure. And she was just balls to the wall, this is what I do. And I remember the audience laughing in predictably insulting ways and trying to make a joke of her, trying to make a joke of her work. And I felt it to my core as a little one. And I remember thinking, how dare these people, how dare this audience not understand what they're seeing. Shame on them was actually probably the thought. Just like, shame on them. But a lot of, how dare you? Because here they are, you know, regular everyday people taking her and her, mainly her artwork, and laughing at it, making it a punchline. I found it so completely insulting. Johnny Carson, on the other hand, really had a reverence for her and didn't dig into that. He did not treat her like a joke. She made self-deprecating jokes. But also talked about the people in the portrait work. And it was just something I found so validating. Even as a little one, I found it validating. And his drive just like came up in me. And although I lost it for several decades, or a couple of decades, this is what I've been living on ever since, is that how dare you? And obviously you don't understand. Like, if people try and turn me into the joke or belittle me, which happens in person and online, it's obvious you don't understand. I took that away from her. Talking about her work in a patient way without getting upset with the audience and just saying, you're a moron. So if you don't get this, you don't know what you're looking at. She showed one portrait. I just rewatched the interview recently. She showed one portrait she did, in Spanish Harlem, I think it was, of a man who was dying of TB. And it was ravaging that community. And people were like, they were laughing at it. And she took a breath. So anyway, let's get back. I love Alice Neel. I love that this is her at the beginning, when she is still hopeful and fresh, and she has her whole life ahead of her, and all of the ups and downs, and all of the inside outs, and all the tragedies that she doesn't know are coming. And she doesn't know how she's going to be changing the art world or self-portraiture. Then on the other side, we have me. And this has actually confounded me for, I think, 6 days, which is unusual, because I'm not looking at it like, oh, it's me. Oh, look, it's me, and I have to make me pretty. I have leaned into the trash panda look very heavily with the bags that I've had since Bugsy died. I've leaned heavily into it, and I'm just looking at this self-portrait like I'm just another reference material, another subject. Now, what's been confounding me to no end is the head. Not necessarily the likeness, although I think I've almost nailed it here, but the head feels like it's slightly detached from the body. So I've been going in and trying different color combinations. I'm only using mineral spirits and oils, or I have, so that I can go back in and wipe it all down. It's been umpteen different colors. And the last big wipe down, I was like, what is wrong with you? Because I do use teals and blues and creams and oranges and stuff, but the oranges come in at the end. And unfortunately, at one point, I had this color skin. I don't do this color skin. I don't care about this color skin. That says nothing more when it's added to a portrait than, you know how to paint Caucasian people. That's it, end of story. And as we know, I like to find something a little bit deeper. So I use teals and blues, and then a variety of ways to lighten it with Radiant Blue by Gamblin, Titanium Buff, which I love, and then Titanium White. I don't know why, I just love those. So I wiped it all down, swearing and yelling at myself. I also went in and wiped some of this down and some lines in here, so that when I went back in with those with the colors to helpfully correct and to pull everything together a little bit better, there was fluidity. Instead of, I'm just gonna paint the face. I'm gonna keep painting it and repainting it, and I'm not leaving the house for a month. And once again, they will find me in under a pile of flies, before I'll shower because I got it. It's still not there. The head is still not attached, but I'm not giving up. I'm also going to put it to the side and let it settle, but I'm not giving up. I've been using, I got another mirror at a yard sale so I can see better. I'm putting up my reference material on my secondary iPad and blowing it up. I'm going to try and get a printout of it so I can see a little bit clearer, but I take the iPad and put it up against the mirror with this in the background, and so painting backwards so I can see the balance, and I can see the complete imbalance in this because we're looking at it backwards. The left eye is in a little too close. I am frustrated that I can't find the highlights, but one of the things I think I'm doing to myself in not just overworking it or trying not to overwork it, is I'm not really attached to it. I haven't found that peaceful, connective, exciting tissue that I usually have that draws me into the painting and where I'm letting the paint tell me what to do. Sadly, I haven't been listening to I don't want to say not listening to the paint because I have, but it's that meditation that I talk about, where you take a deep breath, pop your neck a couple of times, and let that connective tissue from out in the sky or wherever flow through your body, shut your head off, and just let it fall together. I haven't done that. Instead, I've been not showering and just kind of repainting it. So anyway, this is where we are. I'm going to show you the setup for the next set, which is going to be, where's the other one? Oh, I didn't bring it out. Which is going to be, oh my God. Oh, that hurts. Toulouse-Lautrec, and again, me. Let's cover up Garbage Panda for a minute, which again, I'm not glossing over how I look. It is how I look. I've been very sad without Bugsy. I have developed these like old lady, old man bags, and they're not going away. It's not allergies like I thought. It's just life. So Garbage Panda portrait, covering it up though just for a sec. So I'm going to be painting, I'm going to be doing Toulouse-Lautrec on this surface, and then I have another second surface that's smaller, and I left it in the garage. That's going to be another portrait of me. This is going to be Toulouse-Lautrec in a photograph I happen to love, where he's standing sideways and he's looking at his paintings, and he has a slight grin on his face that I just adored. I was, okay, can say it, totally obsessed with Toulouse-Lautrec when I was in high school. I wanted this drunken dwarf, dead artist to be in love with me. I know. I don't think I've ever told anyone that before. I know I haven't because it's too weird. I learned about his life. I learned about his illness, his accidents, how he ended up to be this angry, drunken dwarf, and drugs, and a little bit of cross-dressing. And I was just totally and completely obsessed. And I think I got that white knight syndrome. Like, if I go back in time, I can fix him. I can help him. So many things wrong in this dream I had on so many levels. But I was enamored. I adored him. I loved him. And his work. Let's go there. And his work. I won't be copying his work. I won't be doing Toulouse-Lautrec in Toulouse-Lautrec style. because I think it's a little lazy and cliche again. I'm going to be painting Toulouse-Lautrec the way I paint. I'm going to be painting me the way I paint. What I'm saying is, Alice Neal, Toulouse-Lautrec, and so many others, I feel connective tissue to. I feel a thread. And we're going to juxtapose the two. The portrait of me is actually from a photograph that my high school friend, Christy Beckner, took of me. There's one print, it's hanging on my wall. I have had it since 1980. And it's me standing in the basement of the Boston Museum School of Fine Arts, feeling like I was home for the first time in my life. You can't see me. I have roughly the same haircut I have now, even though I cut it myself. It's my back to Christy. I didn't know she was taking the picture. It's my back to Christy. And I was wearing an inappropriately warm military jacket on a very summerish day, sweating my guts out, but feeling super cool and feeling like I was home. So I'm surrounded by student canvases, and I'm just standing, and all I could think was, I want to live here. I don't ever want to leave. Then I went to the Boston Museum School, and it was not for me at all, because sex, parties, and drugs. I always showed up like this in a button down and had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Didn't fit in at all. Didn't learn a friggin' thing. So, but I was like, this is the world. This is the world I want to be in. This is the world that my pretend boyfriend from 100 years ago, Toulouse-Lautrec, lived in. My pretend pals. All these just incredible artists who changed the world, Van Gogh, etc. I want to live in that world. So I'm going to put the two together. I love Toulouse-Lautrec because not only was he a great painter who was transforming the idea of paint and illustration, but he would climb his tiny little body up on a printing press while his posters were coming out, and he would apply color by hand. And that's inspired me to do, I used that naughty word. I used the inspired word, the I word. I'm gonna have to go bleach my mouth now. But it dug into my brain. And that just having that little nugget that he would climb up on this printing press and spend hours hand coloring aspects of his posters. So that led me to do, that little nugget led me to do other projects, silk screening projects, etc., where I wasn't hand coloring them, because I don't believe in copying. I think that's so friggin' lazy, it's reprehensible. But applying materials in different ways to prints that I've made. How's that? Okay, we're gonna cut it there. I am going to shower because it's very warm and I am smelly. And yesterday, here's something. My neighbor was going to help me cut this wood at 11:30 a.m. At 11:30 came and I was still in my jammies and painting. It's a funny story. I'm still in my jammies and painting, and I hear, he was next door and he was working. I just kept, do I shower? Do I not shower? Looking out the window over at his little tool shed. Kirby, Kirby, and I didn't want to disturb him. 6:30 rolls around. I'm done. I'm like, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it. Hop in the shower. I hear, I'm in the shower. Beck. It's Kirby at my back door because I don't shut the doors all day long. All of them are open. I like having the smells and the sun and the wind, or if there's air. I'm here, Beck. My house is basically the dormitory room of the neighborhood. I invited it. It's kind of cool to be that person. But I'm yelling, Kirby, I'm in the shower. bathroom door's open. Kirby, I'm in the shower. He's deaf, can't hear me, or partially deaf. It was really, really funny. It's very charming and cute to be in that situation, and sweet. My neighbor wanted to help. Sadly, I was covered in soap. So I get out of the shower, I'm dripping, I'm texting his daughter, Claudia, I think Kirby was just in my house. I'm in the shower. She was laughing. She was laughing so hard. I said, ask him if he can wait a few minutes, and then I'll be over. But we did it. He was laughing. I'm not embarrassed. It's just like my life and the way I like it. So I'm going to try and gesso this. We know from the last, I know this is long again. We know from the last project I did where I'd taken whatever skinny ass cheap wood this is and gessoed it. I had put 2 coats of white gesso, 1 coat of black gesso swipes on. We know from that experience, the 3 layers of gesso now, with the 3 layers of gesso, with the aerosol, the oil still somehow sunk into the wood. So I'm gonna go along, I'm gonna sand this a little bit. I'm gonna see what I can do with the white gesso. It might be 3 coats, it might be 4 coats this time, so we have that barrier. And oh no, I had painted on cardboard. Oh, we're not gonna have that issue, never mind, ignore. Yeah, the issue with the oil getting soaked through, the oil coming out completely flat and not working was a result of using cardboard, gessoed cardboard, that's correct. And that's when I did the collage piece. So never mind, I'm gonna gesso this maybe 2-3 layers just to be safe, do the black swipes, do the aerosol, and we'll, I'll show you as we go along. Okay, that's it, done chatting now. Ciao, and I forgot to do my Maxwell Minute. Everybody help me say hello to my grandson, Maxwell, we love you. Grammy loves you, and you've got a lot of people around the world who already love you. Ready? Maxwell Minute. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy. Even on days like today where it's beautiful out, you'll never know, Max, how much I love you. Mwah. Be your best, Max. You can every day. I love you, Maxwell. I'm wicked proud of you. Mommy and Daddy keep showing me your drawings and paintings. And he wrote out Max the other day, and he is just 2 years old. Max wrote Max out twice on video. You did a beautiful job. So there's our Maxwell Minute. Again, I'm Beck Lane. This is Studio 120. And if you'd like to help me pay rent and keep a roof over my head and maybe buy paint, which I am totally and completely out of right now, there's 3 ways you can help. You can go on, okay, come here. You can go on Patreon. Patreon supplies monthly support, and you get a wicked nifty gift at the end of 3 months. Patreon is monthly support. Support starts as low as $5 and goes up from there. You can even invest in getting a painting. And that's something we can discuss. So it goes from $5 on up. Also, another way you can help is through Cash App. My Cash App username is Beck 2583, Beck 2583, or PayPal, becklane@ymail.com, becklane@ymail.com. It's like, Ymail is like Yahoo, but without the Ahoo part. So becklane@ymail.com. I'm going to leave you alone now. It's been 24 minutes. When I get going, wow. And one more thing, and then I promise I'll leave you alone. There was a video that popped up in my YouTube feed by Jerry Saltz, S-A-L-T-Z, Jerry Saltz. And I'm going to have to find it, but it was a really great talk to university or college level artists about art. And it really It was very, very good. So I'm going to post a link down below as well as links to all this junk. I'm going to take my garbage panda face, which I have earned every line, and I'm going to go scrub it and make my pit stop smelling. So, ciao, ciao. Ready, Carrie? Ready? Ready, Max? Ready, Carrie? Here we go. Meow, meow, meow. Boing.